And I don't care if you believe me. I don't care if you think demons are fake. I don't care if you think Ouija boards are just cardboard and ink. I don't care. I don't care if you think all the stories you see on social media is fake or on Ghostbusters. I don't care. I don't. Because I lived it. And no research, no TED Talk, no debunker, no skeptic video can erase what I lived. Period. I don't care about none of that. So, if that's what you care about, or you want to debunk X, Y, and Z, this ain't even for you. But let's start here. A Ouija board. A Ouija board is a flat piece of wood, cardboard, whatever material. It has letters A to Z across the top, numbers 0 through 9. It has yes and no in the corners. Some of them have suns and moons. And sometimes, most times, all the times, it has goodbye stamped at the bottom of the board. They have a piece called a planchette. It can be all kinds of material, but usually you can see through it. Because this is used to go from letter to letter. Okay? Whether you make this board, whether you buy it from the store, it comes with rules. And the rules are usually 2 or more people play the game with their fingers on the piece. You ask questions out loud, you wait, and the piece starts to move. That's what they write down and they give you. Now, there's also like that unwritten set of rules that we hear about. Never play the game alone. Always say goodbye, or you leaving doors open for something else. Some people say don't ask about your future. Don't ask about how you gonna die or when you'll die. That list keeps going on forever. Don't let it do figure eights. Don't let it count backwards. Don't let it do all this other stuff. But every one of those rules carry a warning. Every instruction assumes that you are dabbling with something beyond your control. Because if we can control it, that means we can let it do what it want to do. But what it's telling us not to let it do that insinuates it's something else that's in control. So here's the truth. Every major faith, every culture with the whisper of reverence for the spiritual realm says the same thing. It's just in different words. Don't mess with this stuff. Me, I'm a Christian. When I did this board, I wasn't. I was just somebody who assumed it was a God, whatever. But it's like that because the board isn't a game. This board is an invitation. It's an opening. It's a counterfeit line of communication, right? The scripture says that it's basically like communication with familiar spirits. So that's the unseen forces that disguise themselves as light, but it's really just to pull you in the darkness, right? I hope you're following this. So in Christianity, the warning is very clear. You can't miss it unless you look another way on purpose. In the Old Testament at that, in Deuteronomy, it says, do not consult mediums, don't practice divination, and don't seek voices of the dead. God says that these things are detestable because they pull your trust away from him. A Ouija board is literally a medium and a gate for different things to come in and out of. And the thing that you really should understand too is it's not just Christianity. Other traditions, Jewish, Islamic, indigenous people who all have their own customs also have their own cautions against summoning, conjuring, channeling. And this message is consistent across so many different cultures. With the bottom line being, don't go knocking on the door of things that were never meant to be opened by you. I think that's plain and simple. Because the thing is, once you do, the things that you can't control, it's gonna answer you. Then what you gonna do? Now you sitting here with some stuff that you don't even know how to deal with. But it's cool. That's not even why y'all here. Y'all here to hear what I went through, right? So that's what this is. So me, excuse me. So me, I was 18, 19 coming up, but 18, a freshman in college. I made some friends, had some peers, and it led to curiosity being too heightened, right? We was watching movies like The Conjuring, The Poltergeist, and some other little scary movies or whatnot. You know, it was me and my bro, and then it was the two girls down the hall. Like every story in a guy's life, it starts with a girl. This wasn't like no romantic stuff though. Like this is just what it was. That was like, you ever did it? And I'm like, nah. They're like, do you want to? And I'm like, nah. Who wants to do this? But then basically, I was challenged as a man. Like, you scared. If you scared, just say that. If you a chump, just say that. And I'm fighting words. You feel me? Like, you scared to do it, just say that. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of nothing. I should have been, but I wasn't. So that was like, bad, let's do it. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what you just get yourself into? So I'm calling people. I call my aunt, I call my brother, and multiple people like, you ever did this? And basically the last conversation was, do it and find out for yourself. Stop asking people, just do it. And I'm like, all right, bet. So we was cheap. We ain't want to go pay for no Ouija board. Granted, it was like $20 on Amazon. Why pay $20 when I got unlimited free printing because I'm a college student, or very cheap printing at that, and I go buy a poster board and some tape? I could break a cup to have a planchette. Psst. That's what I'm about to do. So that's what we did. Get back to the room, set the mood. Turn the lights down a little bit. Mind you, the room we on this tile cold floor. There's some beds in the room. It's one of those tall lamps that have the hard plastic cover that's like heat resistant. And then the light bulbs are regular light bulbs, like that you have in your kitchen or your bedroom. So boom. We start doing this board. We read the rules online where it's saying, don't ask this, don't ask that, whatever. We ain't really paying no attention. So we doing this board, fingers on, who there? Somebody there. What's out there? Blah, 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 whatever. Nothing happens at first. So we looking at each other like, yeah, bro, this ain't real, this fake. Then the board goes to yes. We like, who did that? Who playing? This ain't funny. Who did that? Everybody swears it's not them. We're like, all right, cool. So we go, what's your name? And the board, the little piece with all our fingers on it, start moving. It's slow ticks at first. Then it starts getting fluent. So it spells out a name. The name is Sally, right? Cool. Generic name. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Oh, so spooky. Cool. So we conversing with Sally. Where you from? It tells us that it's from the area that we're in. And just for like confidentiality, I'm not gonna put the university out there and stuff, but if you know me, you know. If you want to have more information, like reach out to me, I'll put you up. So yeah, where you from? It tells us how'd you die, or like how did you transition out of this world. She said that has something to do with smoke inhalation from a fire. Okay. when did this happen? It gave us like a certain time period. I can't remember. This was done. I did this when I was 18. Y'all. I'm 30. But we all think this is just one of us playing jokes on each other. But everybody swear they're not. So I said, all right. I said, hey, Sally, if you're real, do something in this room that would like solidify the thought and make all the doubts go away that you're here. And then they said, okay. So as we're sitting in this dorm room, we start to smell the scent of smoke, like burning. Nothing's lit. There's no candles allowed in the dorms. Nothing's on fire. And we look around just to notice there's a light smoke coming from the lamp. So we go over to the lamp. The light bulb is not hot. The plastic is not hot. However, there was a silhouette of a woman, or what appears to be a silhouette of a person with long hair burned into the side of the plastic that is the cover that covers the light bulb on said lamp. That ain't supposed to happen. Like, never in anybody's years have we seen that happen. I got lamps like that all through the crib at this point in time. We all got them in our dorms. Nobody's lamps melted. And on top of that, they're cold. Like, the light bulb not even hot. That was enough for us to be like, all right, Sally might be real. So after that particular instance, we said goodbye. Sally said goodbye. That was it. Ended the session. From there, we took all the information that we compiled from Sally and we took it, we researched it, and everything came back positive and correct. Cool. But it's still some doubt. We like, all right, maybe it's real, maybe it's not, whatever, let's do it again. Mind you, this whole testimony took place over months. So the next time we do it, Sally come back. We chopping it up, asking questions, blah, 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 blah. But this time, Sally was acting funny. She wasn't addressing no questions from the girls, but just from me and my mans. But then it went from her not addressing them to her having some crazy remarks and like animosity towards them, what it seems like. Like she got rude, short, sharp. Like, you know, when you reading something, you be like, dang, what's like that? But then it was like, be careful, something coming. And we like, what? What are you talking about? And then it wasn't responding to us. So we just stopped playing. We ain't say goodbye. We just took our hands off and that was it. And that was the first problem, right? We finished the session without saying goodbye. So at this point, us not knowing, we left the door we opened wide open for whatever it is to come in and out. So from there, me personally, I start experiencing fatigue. I started waking up with these handprints on my chest and like some light scarring. Now, the first thing people gonna think is, yeah, bro, maybe you slept on your hands. I got big hands, right? But when these handprints are smaller and they're like female hands and the scratches are like nail scratches, it's not me, y'all. I can't do that to myself if I want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. And I'm fatigued, I'm lazy, I don't want to do nothing. My motivation starts leaving me. So I'm like this for days and weeks. And I don't know why. So then we end up finding our way back to this board again. And this time when we did it, we got Sally immediately. And Sally like, he coming. And we like, who coming? And they gave us this name. It was like Z-O-Z-O. So Zozo. Zozo's coming. Who is that? Why are you freaking out? Why should I be scared of this dude? Because I'm not. You've been peaceful and chill to my knowledge. who is Buddy? You know what I'm saying? So the board get to doing these figure eights and it's going side to side. It's trying to count through numbers and letters backwards. I'm like, bro, what is going on? Y'all bugging. And then it shot down to goodbye. Oh, okay. And then it gradually started moving back up. And we like somebody there and it went to yes. Said, you Sally? It said no. We said, you Sally friend? It said no. We said, are you safe? It said no. And we said, oh no, goodbye. And it said no. Like it started circling no. Okay. Cool. Who are you? Hello, who are you? And then it finally starts moving. Z to O. Z to O. It kept going. It's this Zozo that it was talking about. All right, bro, what's good? Like, what's up, bro? You just stormed up in here. Like, what's going on? And everything we asked him, he was like mad aggressive with his answers, or he would make some crazy derogatory statements or words that it'd spell out. Sometimes it'd be in a different language. Like we'd write it down, and they go back and look at it and be like, bro, that's not even English. I'm calling the ladies out of their names like crazy, and then saying it was gonna do X, Y, and Z to them, like some crazy, sexual, nasty, like perverted things, and it was just everybody got uncomfortable. And this went on for like a couple hours, bro, and we finally get it to say goodbye, and the girl's like, I'm not touching this again. But at that point, it's been like a month. So me and my mans, I'm like, bro, you still trying to mess with this? He like, not really, but I'm kind of interested in this character we just dealt with. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Like, that was wild. That wasn't you? He like, no, bro, that was not me. I said, all right. So we gonna run this back. But between the time of that and us running it back, that fatigue and stuff I was feeling, he was feeling similar, minus the scratches and the handprints during the same time I was having them. He was more so, his mood changed. Like he was angry. He wasn't himself. He was very short, but also standoffish at the same time. He used to see figures in his room, as did I. And at this point, like my suite mate moved to a whole different building. Like it was 4 of us, we shared a bathroom, bro. He moved out to a different building. My roommate stopped sleeping in the room because there was something in our room. So I go to talk to bro and I say, hey man, let's run this back one more time. But we added 2 different people that had never did it. So we start. We got some random spirit and it ain't want to talk to us. We was like, somebody there said, yeah. We was like, do you want to talk? It said, no, goodbye. Cool. We got Sally again. She came back and I was like, bro, what's up? Like, well, you bounced on us, left us for bro, and we don't know what's going on. She was like scared and then said his name again and then said, something along the lines of him not being safe. And I'm like, no, if a demon is telling, or demon or a spirit or something's telling me this other demon and spirit is not safe, one of y'all really not safe. If y'all both not safe, or somebody might be lying or something. I've never heard of a demon ratting out another demon, but hey, the devil lies, steals, and kills. So whatever. I guess demons got their own they own ops too within their community. I don't know how that work. Whatever. I'm like, bro. I said, Sally, why I'm so tired? And she was like, me. Like, what that mean? And they spelled out latch to host or latch to you. That's what that means. So if you look up like stuff like this, different demons and demon types and stuff like that, you got incubus and succubus. Sally essentially was a succubus spirit. So that's where my energy was going to feed her life force. You know what I'm saying? It's nasty. So, fast forward a little bit more in that session, Sally leaves again and Zozo come in making all this noise, right? So I said, all right, bro, if you real, show me something, because you doing all this talking. Show me something. Give me a sign in the room that you hear. All right. This blue light, it's in the shape of a perfect square, appears on the bed, right? It's like these little white orbs of light that you can also see very clear. Everybody sees this. So I take my hand and put it on the bed, and like if light was coming through the window, you know, if light is coming through the window and it's hitting the bed and I put my hand there, you would see light on your hand. It didn't do that. The light was on the bed. My hand was over the light, but there was no light on my hand. So I was just mad weird. The blinds are closed. There's nothing there to allow light to pass through. So we asked the board, can we investigate? He said, yeah. So we all took our hands off the board, left the planchette at yes, and we walking around the building, walking around the room, can't find where this light coming from. Cannot make this up. So then we go back upstairs, put our hands back on the board. Sarah, you still there? And the piece comes off of yes, goes back to yes, and starts to circle yes. Mind you, what did we just do? We, for a second time, took our hands off the board, left it unattended without saying goodbye. And when we did this time, we were talking to something else. This wasn't Sally. So whatever this second thing is now gained some leverage. So if it chose to come out the board, it did. If it didn't, it didn't. Whatever. We come back in the room. I said, all right, bro, show me something else. I said, okay. My homie got speakers in his room, like subwoofer type speakers. They weren't connected to nothing. They turned on and you start hearing static. And then they go boom when they turn off. They're not even plugged in. Then, this is the kicker. The bathroom door unlocked. Now you might be saying, oh, the bathroom door unlocked. Maybe it was the suite mate or somebody in the bathroom. Nah, the door locks from the outside, from the side we were on, and it's a latch. It unlatched. One of the homies that was doing the board would have started freaking out. He's the only full believer. He like, bro, I don't want to be here, bro. This is crazy. So he says, hey, can I leave? The board goes to yes immediately, and it's spinning. Like, it's circling yes, circling yes, circling yes. Buddy, get up and leave. All right. So now it's three of us. It's me, my bro, and his roommate. So he's sitting there on this board still. And then it says hello again. Mind you, never say goodbye. It says hello. And we said, what's your name, cuz? It says that demon's name. Now he getting aggressive. He's talking crazy about what he's gonna do to X, Y, and Z. Who he gonna kill, who he not gonna kill. What's gonna happen to us in these days and those days. And I'm like, bro, this dude is crazy. He tweaking. I don't want to do this no more. Like, the door didn't unlatch, so my emotions is heightened. I'm low-key anxious. But we ended up sitting here with this dude for like 2 hours, bro. He finally says goodbye, we leave. This had to be like on a Thursday, because most of our classes was Monday through Thursday. The next day, they did what was called free pancakes at the church. So we always would go. This time, we walk up into the church. As soon as we walk in, extreme discomfort. Okay. That's weird. Couple steps into what they call it, the vestibule or whatever it's called. Couple steps in, feet feel like I am walking on coals. So hot, like I feels like my feet are burning through my shoes. Try to keep walking in. We had to leave. He had the same experience. We had to leave. Feet felt like they were on fire. We cannot walk into a church. That's not weird. Bro, it's crazy, bro. And then we tried to go back in. Same thing. It's like something in me was not letting me do this. So we just went back. We went to the gas station or something, got some snacks, whatnot. We chilling. Didn't touch the board again that night. Some days start to pass. But then we start waking up in random places. I cannot make this up. Like, I swear I'll be in my room, but I'll wake up in the lounge 2 floors down. I'll wake up in the study room upstairs. I'll be in the hallway sleep. How did I get there? Same thing is happening to him. He's also starting to have scars. This doesn't make sense. I'll do you one even better. I'm on my way to my speech class. A girl comes out the room and says, "Hey, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, what you talking about?" She said, "You have like a little creature or something latched to your shoulder and it won't let you go." I said, "Bro, you tweaking." She said, "No, I don't know what you're going through, but I hope you figure it out." Man, I don't even know this girl, bro. She was in the class before mine. And then some people that I know near and dear, I was told I was walking into the eateries, you know, like the eating place, the common place. And I had the most blank expression on my look, but it was also aggression in the look. She said she spoke to me, but that was the one time she felt intimidated by me. Like I wasn't there, but I was aggressive. I don't even remember talking to her. She also said one time I was walking towards this pond that we have on our campus. It's big enough to drown in. Not big enough to drive no boats or nothing. It's like a little lake house. She said one day she seen me walking towards it. And she thought nothing of it. She like, he'd be all right. But something told her to come to me. And she just hugged me. And then I just start crying. I don't remember this. So then, after some time, we make our way back to the board. This is where I decided to stop touching this board. Mind you, there's multiple other things that happened before this. Is anybody there? It says yes. And then it spells out, "Hi, Derek." Why everything you want to talk to me? I take a deep breath. Who are you? This board said, "Your mom." For those of y'all who don't know me, like the people in this room, did not know that my mother died when I was a kid. I said, "What's your name?" Spelled out her full government name. And I know what you're thinking. Bro, that's your subconscious. I thought that too. I said, "Can I ask questions but remove my hands from this board?" He said, "Yes." My hands are off. They don't know me. This information is not put out there. My mom and me did not have the same last name at her point of death. So this is not research anybody did. She says, I said to the board, "How old were you when I died?" It said 3. I said, "How did you die?" It told me exactly how my mother died. "What year did you die?" It told me exactly the year and date that she died. Then it said, "Son, I love you. Stop playing this." At this point, I'm bawling. I'm crying. I'm hurt. I'm confused. I'm scared. And to this day, I don't know what that was, my mom. I don't know if that was God sending something to get me away from what I was going deep into, or if that was a demon playing with my emotions. I don't know. But that was the last time I touched that board. Tell you that. From there, from there, for a few years, man, I dealt with depression. And I had addiction issues. I became a addictive personality because the addiction I had for that board, I had to put somewhere else. So that was smoking weed, that was drinking, all of that, because I wasn't saved. I wasn't living this lifestyle for God or nothing like that. However, when I finally started having this yearning to figure out who God was, because I had started to experience so much loss, I didn't know where else to turn to. And it was a day I thought about taking my own life. Like, I had a whole plan, and I ended up on the floor in a room of a friend in her apartment who was now my wife. And I gave my life to God. And no, everything was not great after that. No, it's not what this is. But that's when I started learning about renouncing and denouncing of things that you were attached to. And somebody asked me after I shared my testimony, had I ever renounced and denounced these things that I have come in contact with? And I'm like, no, because I don't know what that is. But when I started doing that, it's like weight was being lifted. I was getting lighter. It was always some pushback. Like, I still fall into cycles of things. But that's when I started to get my relief. That's when I started to grow into the person that I am now, leaving all that stuff I was attached to behind. So I say all of that to say, there are pieces that I left out because I don't want to identify the university that I was at through this video. However, as far as that board goes, after months of us messing with this, we tried to get rid of it. It somehow ended up back on our floor in the hallway. And eventually, a campus-wide email went out, and it said that Ouija boards are now prohibited on campus. If you were caught with one of these boards, there is a penalty or a fine associated to it. Upon receiving a warning, if you do it again, you will be removed from the university. So for them to take precautions that far, what we went through had some type of effect. You know what I'm saying? There were multiple people that moved out of our building into another building. I lost a lot of friends during this time. It was a lot of those friends that I lost that were praying for me too. So I say all that to say, it was people who was affected by this that never touched it, but can testify to what I'm saying. Now fast forward 3-4 years ago, the same university had the audacity to use a board as promotion for residence life. And I seen that and I flipped. And I reposted it and it got some traction to the point where they removed the video because it wasn't culturally sensitive. It wasn't culturally sound or safe. Because what people believe is a game can really change your life in not a positive way. That's what I went through. If you want to know more details and specific about things that happened to me physically during this, reach out to me. I will let you know. I am an open book. If you want to hear some of the feedback I got from things that people experience with me, I'll share that too. Again, I am an open book. I'm not here to tell you that if you don't believe in God, you're going to hell, or if you touch this board, you're going to hell. I'm not here to tell you none of that. I mean, at the end of the day, there is only one way to heaven, but that's a whole nother video, you know what I'm saying? But if you have questions about any of the stuff I talked about or want to know about the stuff I did not talk about, we can have a conversation. I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm not here to go back and forth in comments. But if you want to know, we can talk. But that is the Spark Notes version of what I experienced. So if you got any questions, you know what I'm saying, like I said, reach out to me. Again, my name is Derek. My ministry is Blessed Man Walking, because I'm truly a blessed man walking, because I should have died a long time ago, y'all. So that's all I got for y'all.